Deep stripping is very effective in the forearm muscles for addressing chronic tension and myofascial trigger points. Active engagement techniques increase tissue density, making massage treatment even more effective. Just as we did with the broadening techniques, we'll look at the longitudinal stripping techniques with the arm resting on a towel, a bolster, or someplace where we can get a full range of motion with those tissues. Let's start with the flexor group first this time. The motion of shortening is here and lengthening is here. So shortening during flexion, lengthening during extension. Bailey, if you will, just keep this going with your wrist up and back down, just about that pace. Now this time as she's lengthening, a short stripping technique is performed on those flexor muscles each time she goes down. And a little bit slower. Good. So make sure the client's going at the appropriate pace so that you can do a nice stripping technique on each one of those motions that they go through all the way down. Keep that going. Good full range of motion. Very nice. And one more of those. Good. Relax. You want to make sure you cover the whole flexor muscle group, so this may take several times going through it to cover this whole area. But do maybe 4 or 5 at a time. Let the client relax a little bit, do some nice sweeping cross fiber in between, and then come back and do that set again until that whole entire flexor group has been covered. If you're working the extensor group, it's going to be just the opposite. Now this is the shortening phase, and this is the lengthening phase. So the stripping technique will happen during the lengthening phase on the way down. Remember that we're primarily focusing on the muscle tissues, which are just about this much here. It's tendon from here on down and tendons up above. We're really focusing predominantly on the muscle tissues here, but you can go ahead and work on the tendons just for the sake of continuity. Again, Bailey, just keep this going up and down about like that. That pace, and we'll strip, pause, strip, pause, strip, pause, all the way up there. Very nice. A couple more of those. Strip here, pause, and strip, pause, strip. Good. And let's say, for example, we wanted to do some additional resistance here. We showed a moment ago doing that with a resistance band. You could do the same thing here with the stripping technique, or you could do another option, such as using manual resistance. I'll use my hand to offer the resistance this time. Bailey, I want you to hold your wrist here and don't let me move it. She's now engaging the extensors in a contraction here, and if I instruct her to slowly let that go, and as she slowly lets go, I push her wrist down into flexion, so that we get an eccentric action in those extensor muscles. Good. Once again, hold that there. And slowly let that go. Very nice. Let's do one more of those. Come up here, hold that, and slowly let that go. The active engagement techniques increase the density of the muscle and make the stripping techniques far more effective for many of these overuse problems in the extensor and flexor muscle groups.